Hi, Susan. I'm Alexandra. Nice to meet you.
Hi, nice to meet you.
Oh, the weather out there is so nice, finally.
It is.
I've been waiting for that for so long.
Yeah.
The cold has just been brutal lately.
No.
Alright, so have you ever been to counseling before?
No, I haven't.
No? Okay. That is alright. So, first of all, I'd like to jump into a few housekeeping items that we want to get out of the way before we really get into the nitty-gritty kind of, you know what I mean. So before we start anywhere, I'm going to give you the sheet.
Okay.
So on the sheet, it kind of outlines important things such as consent for counseling, confidentiality, lengths of sessions, fees, insurance, cancellations, that kind of thing.
Okay.
So I'll kind of go over it with you briefly, and then you can read it as well, and then we'll get you to sign it at the end.
Perfect.
All right. This will probably also answer a lot of your questions, hopefully. I'm sure you have a lot coming into your first session of counseling.
Yeah.
Yeah, so is this a good way to start for you, or were you thinking something different?
No, this is perfect.
This is perfect? Yeah. Okay, awesome. So I just want you to be aware that even though you expect to have the areas that you're coming into counseling resolved, or that you have high expectations of this, sometimes that's not always the case.
Okay.
The client and the counselor sometimes don't have that connection that they hope to. So if that ever occurs between us, I'd be happy to refer you somewhere else and we can figure out some other options for you.
Okay.
So I just wanted you to be aware of that before we start anything.
Yeah.
Also, you have the right to inquire about costs, length, and progress of the session anytime you wish. And as well, there also is a potential that a supervisor will come in just to make sure that I'm giving the proper counseling for you kind of thing. We do a lot of research here. We want to make sure that we're giving out the best quality of counseling that we can. If that ever happens, I'll, of course, let you know before the session.
Yeah, okay.
Awesome. So confidentiality is a big one, which I'm sure you're kind of wondering about. So if you just look over here, I'll outline kind of some things for you. So anything that we talk about here in our sessions is strictly confidential. I can't repeat any of it to anyone. It's just between me and you. Even if you decide to bring anyone into your counseling, anything that we've talked about prior to that, I cannot disclose to that other person as well. So just wanting to let you know that. Yeah, so there are a few exceptions to this rule. I just kind of want to go over with you. So if you report any abuse or neglect to a child, I do have to report that to Child Services. If you display any threats to anyone else, or also to yourselves, things like suicide, self-harm, I do have to report that as well. And anything that we disclose is required for legal matters, so things like documents, files, that kind of thing, abuse in court, I would have to give that to the court. Only the information that is necessary for the process.
Okay.
Yeah. Is there any questions about that?
No.
I know it's a lot of information. Yeah, for sure. So
I think that's pretty straightforward. If I have any questions, I will let you know.
Awesome. Okay, so if we go into session length, usually here at Hospice Calgary, they're about 50 to 60 minutes in length.
Okay.
Of course, there's always circumstances where it'll go over, that kind of thing, so just gotta be aware of that. Sessions usually run once a week, but it really just depends on the client, so your needs and your situation. So sometimes it could be 2 times a week, maybe once every 2 weeks. It's totally up to you and what you feel comfortable with.
Okay.
So here at Hospice Calgary, we do work on a sliding scale fee, which you probably recognized when you filled out your intake form.
Yeah.
So here I have your intake form, and it's quoted that you have to pay $42 a session.
Okay.
And that is due at the end of every session. If you no-show to a session, you still have to pay that. Okay. So there's a 24-hour cancellation policy, so if you let me know 24 hours before, there's no fee. But if you just don't come, I was expecting you, that kind of thing, you still have to pay.
Okay, makes sense.
Awesome. So I just wanted to kind of go over those details if you just want to read it over a little bit. Yeah. And then I'll give you this pen, and you just have to sign on the next page here.
Okay.
Awesome. Do you want any tea or coffee or anything?
Actually, yeah, I'll have a tea just while I read this over.
Do you just take it black or?
Yeah.
Yep. Okay, awesome. Alright. There you are.
Thank you.
Are you all done with that?
I just have one question.
Okay.
Before I sign it. So I was also wondering if Oh, sorry, until I lost my train.
That's okay, no worries. Take your time.
Oh yeah, it mentions in here that if I want to release the information to someone, I can do that.
Right,
So,
yes.
like, I'm allowed
Yes.
to if I want someone to know. But you just have to...
Yeah, so things like doctor forms, that kind of thing.
Oh, okay.
If you want that released, then I can do that for you. Just gotta let me know what kind of information
Yeah.
you release to them.
Okay.
Yeah, so...
And then I just sign down here?
Yeah, perfect.
Okay.
Awesome. Thank you.
Thank you.
Now we kind of all that housekeeping stuff out of the way, which is
Yeah.
nice, and we can kind of get into the session and the important things. So, first of all, I kind of want to tell you a little bit about myself before we go into your concerns. I've been a registered social worker for about 8 years now. I've worked here at Hospice Calgary for about 4, and I specialize in grief counseling.
Okay.
So, Hospice Calgary, just a little bit of an outline of it. It supports children, teens, and adults coping with life-threatening illnesses and sudden or expected deaths. Our specialties provide individual counseling, group support, workshops, and 24-hour end-of-life care. That's kind of just an outline of what we provide here.
Yeah.
Hopefully it's a good fit for what you're coming in for.
Yeah, definitely.
Awesome. So, as I said before, I do have your intake here, and I kind of have a little bit of an outline of what your concerns are. But I kind of want you to tell me a bit about you and want to hear it from you directly. If you want to start there.
Okay.
Awesome.
So do you just want me to say, like, why I'm here?
Yeah, just tell me a bit about you, your life, family,
Okay.
that kind of thing.
Alright, so I don't know where to start. Well, I'm an only child.
Okay.
I was actually born in Montreal, so I'm not from here.
Okay.
I moved here when I was probably, I don't know, like 17.
So pretty young.
Yeah, like I was in my
Teenage years?
Yeah. And
did you move here with your parents?
With my mom and my stepdad, actually.
Okay. When did your parents get separated?
My dad passed away.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that.
When I was 17 in a
Okay.
sudden car accident.
Wow, that must have been traumatizing for you.
Yeah, it was kind of like a quick thing.
Right.
Like, no one expected it to happen.
Yeah, definitely.
There it was. So, my mom remarried. He's always been a super nice guy. Like, never had any problems with him. So, I'm grateful to at least have someone like that in my life.
Yeah,
for
exactly.
Sure. But yeah, we moved here. I finished high school in Calgary. So that was a little bit of a weird transition.
Yeah,
because I started high school in Montreal and ended when I was in Calgary.
Yeah.
So it's a weird time to move.
For sure, especially when you're just in the high school stage.
Yeah.
It's an important part of your life.
Yeah,
for sure.
but then I graduated high school.
Congratulations.
Thanks. And then I went to Mount Royal to study theater.
I've heard a lot of good things about Mount Royal, actually.
Yeah, it was a great school.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Awesome.
I like the small class sizes that it had. It was a great environment to learn in, for sure. And I met my husband, my current husband, when I was 23.
Wow, pretty young.
Yeah, pretty young. And we only dated for about a year before we got married.
Oh,
so
well, you guys are still together, right? So
yeah.
It must have been meant to be.
I hope so. It was kind of a quick thing, for sure.
Yeah.
But I'm interested in, like, singing, obviously theater, dancing, all that stuff. And he was a guitarist, so I met him at a music art camp.
Yeah.
So that's
you
where
guys
we
had
met.
some stuff in common.
Yeah. So it was great. And then
it's a cool story.
About 2 years later, I had my son.
Oh, what's his name?
His name was Declan.
Very nice.
He's 8 years old now.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, he's growing up.
They grow up so fast.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
So I met him. I had him.
Guess I'm stepping on for half an hour.
And everything after that was kind of, he was a little bit of a problem child.
Right.
He was very colicky.
Oh. That's unfortunate.
Which was hard for me as a young mother.
Right, definitely.
Because I was so excited to have him, like, don't get me wrong, but it was just so much to handle, like, hours and hours of crying for about 3 months.
Yeah, that must have been extremely stressful.
It was super hard to deal with. Right. And then my husband and I kind of, like, a child changes the dynamic automatically.
It's a new life coming into your family, for sure.
It changes stuff, and then having the problems with him made it a little bit more difficult.
Yeah, for sure.
But everything was fine because his mother actually moved in. Mm-hmm. So, and I have a great relationship with her.
Your husband's mother?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, she's awesome. She was awesome. She recently passed away.
Okay.
And that's kind of why I'm here, I guess. Yeah. Because my friend actually recommended me to come here.
Well, this is definitely a good place to start, for sure.
Yeah. And ever since then, everything's kind of been super off.
Yeah. Okay. So kind of when did this shift begin for you? Like, when did it start getting really tough for you?
Well, right after she died, just because I forgot to kind of mention, but she lived with us.
Okay.
She lived with us since Declan was a baby.
Oh, wow. So that's a long period of time to be living with someone.
She lived with us for, he's 8 now, so pretty much 8 years.
Right.
So she helped us when he was little because my mother couldn't. Okay. She is dealing with a chronic illness.
Okay.
So for her to live at my house, it wouldn't work.
Yeah, for sure. She's taking care of herself.
Yeah. And, like, she needs all the help she can get. Like, she can't be helping me. So it was great to have Julia. And she just, even once Declan was better and, like, not colicky anymore, she stayed just to support us. So it was
awesome support.
Yeah. She was just a really great support system. So when she did pass away, well, she got diagnosed with cancer. Okay. And she only lived not very many weeks after that.
Wow. So it was kind of just a rush. Like,
yeah.
It was just all at once, kind of. There's no time to process it or anything for you.
No. It was kind of like one day she was diagnosed, then it was more or less counting down the days till we knew she wouldn't be here anymore.
Extremely difficult, for sure, when you don't have time to process information and really kind of sit back and help yourself deal with it.
Yeah. That was the thing.
Yeah.
So I just feel, since then, I just feel like crap.
Right. Well, yeah, of course. That's a usual feeling after something that tragic has happened. How's your husband and son coping with that? Because that's your husband's mother, of course, right?
Yeah. He has different ways of coping than I do.
Okay.
He throws himself into work. He did that when we had problems with Declan. He was first born. Right. And he's doing it now. And it frustrates me more than anything because I don't have my husband there when I need him.
Yeah, you need that support in your life right now, right?
I want to be there to help him. I want him to help me. And he is never home. He comes home from work after I'm asleep. He
leaves.
See him often. No, he leaves before we wake up.
And I'm sure you guys are kind of going through some similar feelings. It would be nice to have those validated with each other, right?
Yeah. And I try to talk to him, but I don't even see him. And his son doesn't see him.
He needs his dad in his life for sure, especially in these critical years, right?
Yeah.
And just growing up.
Because I don't even know what it is with Declan. I don't know if it's because his grandma passed away, like, obviously because she lived with us. Right. He had a close relationship. This wasn't a distant...
No.
Whatever. He had a good relationship with her. Or
she was around all the time.
Yeah. That was his, like, she was just there. So he was super close with her. Right. Or his dad not being around or what it is, but he's having problems at school.
Okay.
So pretty much I had talked to the counselor about a week or so ago because she just wanted to set up a meeting with me because he's either isolating himself from everyone,
right,
or he is completely on the other side of the spectrum and being aggressive with everyone and like it's causing problems.
So it seems like him and your husband don't have such healthy coping strategies for this.
No.
Have you ever considered bringing them into counseling with you as well?
Yeah, I was thinking about it. I thought I would come first just because.
Yeah, definitely. Just to kind of get your feelings out, get the story.
Yeah, my husband, I don't think he'll do it. But, like, so I wanted to come first because that's going to be a challenge on itself to just
definitely
get him here.
Yeah. And of course you want to help yourself as well because you can't really help other people until you've kind of figured out what's going on with you, right?
Yeah. And I guess I don't have the best coping mechanisms either because lately I just can't get out of bed. It takes me everything, like, to get here today.
Right.
It took everything to, like, drag myself out of bed and get dressed and drive here. To bring Declan to school. Takes everything. I just want to be like just want to tell him to go by himself.
Right.
Because I can't get out of bed.
Have you ever had any history with depression or postpartum depression, that kind of thing?
There was, I never, I guess, got, I don't know how you put it, like, diagnosed with it, but after Declan, there was some speculation that I had postpartum.
Okay.
Just because I felt the same way. I isolated myself from everyone. I didn't want to deal with anyone.
And with him being colicky, definitely was probably a hard point for you to deal with.
Yeah. So I guess, I don't know if it was for sure, but like that could possibly be a history of it.
Right, that's good to know. Is there any other history of depression in your family at all?
No.
Not that you know of?
Not that was ever apparent.
Right.
I just, like, after I drop him off, I go back to bed. I stay in bed till like 2 o'clock. Because I don't currently have a job. Okay. So I just sit in bed all day.
When was the last time that you did have a job?
I've never really had a career.
Right.
I've had part-time jobs that weren't serious. I don't even know what my last one was. It's probably when I worked as like a receptionist for a company, but trying to find a job in theater is very difficult.
Yeah.
So it's never really taken off how I expected it.
Right.
So I had a job like last year as a receptionist.
Okay. So about a year ago, and then were things just getting too much for you? Is that kind of why?
Yeah,
your job? Or?
Yeah. I just kind of, we figured we didn't need it. I wasn't enjoying it that much.
Okay.
For me to sit at a desk and just like answer phones, it wasn't for me. So Eric, my husband, just kind of told me, like, if you don't need to, like, you don't need to work if you don't want to, because he was at a good place.
That's good.
In his career.
And I'm sure you want to spend more time with Declan as well.
Yeah.
Right? It's a big part of your life, for sure.
Yeah, I mean, like, because I wasn't working, I found that I developed a great relationship with my son.
Right.
And I'm really thankful for that. Yeah. It's a good feeling.
That's a positive to look at, right?
Yeah, but it's just lately, like, I can't get through to him because of everything.
There's a lot going on right now, and Julia was such a positive support in your life, and she helped you through so much. That's understandable. Do you think that you have any positive coping strategies or anything that's working for you right now? Or do you just find that when you get home, all you can think about is just going to bed? Like, is there any motivation for you to get up and maybe clean the house or go out to the mall for an hour or so just to get out of the house?
Not yet.
Okay, that's okay.
I mean, it's just kind of been more just sleep, bed.
Right.
I just get up at 2 so that I can like prepare myself to go pick up Declan, pretty much.
Okay. Well, that's a good start, right?
And once he's home, like, I guess he's the thing that kind of keeps me going mostly.
Yeah,
because once he's home, I don't go back to bed.
No, and your husband is working late, so
so he
you're
needs
the only one
me
there.
Yeah. So I help him with his homework after school, like make him a snack, like dinner, whatever.
Right.
So I mean that's good. He keeps me going, but.
Well, I definitely think that that's a good place to start, right?
Yeah.
The fact that you can get out of bed and go get your son and help him with his homework and still be a part of his life after dealing with so much is a good place to be. And I think that if you continue on with our sessions, that we can work towards maybe tiny steps to get you out more, feeling better, that kind of thing, right?
Yeah, I really
totally
hope so.
At your own pace.
Yeah,
for sure. All right. Did you want to disclose anything else with me, or I feel like you've kind of talked through a lot today? So
yeah,
just
kind of let it all.
It's really overwhelming, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I think now we kind of need to form some sort of structure to this and kind of pick apart the major pieces and then try and bring them together and get to a point where you can feel happier about yourself. And then hopefully we'll be able to work on kind of issues with your husband and also with Declan at school. So I definitely appreciate how much you disclosed with me today, because I know how difficult it can be.
Yeah, it is. But I guess I just needed to. Sometimes venting is just good.
Sometimes just talking to someone, right?
Yeah.
That isn't part of the situation and can kind of look at it for you.
Yeah.
Well, that's awesome. Next session, I guess. It's already been an hour. Time flies.
It does.
Yeah, for sure. So I want to set up a next session with you, definitely.
Yeah.
Kind of just what's best for you. Days that work for you, and I can try and work that around my schedule.
Okay. Let's see. I have to. I'm pretty much, because of everything, I pick up Declan, drop him off.
Right.
So
probably in between that time.
Yeah.
Right? Mm-hmm.
And what are your office hours?
We are Monday to Friday. We are open from 9 till 7:30.
Okay.
And then we are open Saturdays from 9 till 2. So
okay.
Totally up to what works for you.
Probably racking my head for all
that. Of course.
I would say Tuesdays.
Tuesdays?
Do you have morning, late morning?
What time do you drop Declan off at school?
I drop him off at 8:30.
8:30, okay. Let me see here. So 10 won't work, but I could do 11:30.
Yeah.
11:30 works? Okay, awesome. So Tuesday at 11:30 and then till 12:30, of course, p.m.
Yeah.
And then we can go from there. Awesome.
Yeah, that definitely works.
Perfect. So, of course, if anything comes up, just please let me know 24 hours in advance.
Okay, I will.
It was great meeting you, Susan.
Thank you so much. I will see you next week then.
Yes, definitely.